Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be telling you 10 stories of crimes where people have been arrested or charged with something, and they are literally the dumbest things you will ever have heard. They're so stupid and funny. I googled funny crimes. That could be wrong, but I did Google funny crimes and found these. Alrighty, let's do this shortly. So, somewhere between the 9th and 11th of November, I forgot to write down what year, so sounds about that. But between the 9th and the 11th of November, an 11-year-old comes home to a strange man sitting in his lounge room. This stranger had the television on with the volume high and numerous candles lit around the living area. So the boy called his mum, Tamara Henderson, who was next door at her friend's house having coffee or something, you know, what girls do, blah blah. And when he told her what was happening, she questioned him, you know, what do you mean there's a strange man in our house? Do you know if he has a knife or a gun? Those kind of question. And then she called the police. And then when the man saw the young boy had come in, he looked at him and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'll get my things and go." The man's name was Terry Trent, and he was arrested and charged with burglary. And the police report said that he had come in through the back door, he had a knife, and was probably on bath salts. The real intriguing part of this one though is he hung a Christmas wreath on their garage door. Oh, this one's so stupid. So a German lawyer named Guido Grohl had received over 100 pizzas to his office as of February 18, 2018. The lawyer pressed charges in January, but he has no idea who keeps sending the unwanted food. And more recently, he's also branched out into sushi, sausage, and Greek food. Corey Michael Morgan, a 21-year-old from St. Cloud, Minnesota. I think that's where it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wouldn't know really. So 21-year-old Michael had decided after a long evening of drinking that he felt like chicken wings. And since he worked at Pizza Hut, he knew exactly where to go. And he knew that the store was closed at this point, but he broke in anyway and began frying himself up some chicken wings. And then at 1:25 a.m, police were informed that the alarm for this Pizza Hut had gone off. When they arrived, they found the back door of the restaurant open and Corey inside frying up some chicken wings. He had made quite the mess, throwing marinara sauce all around the place, and also had attempted to fry some boneless wings. He was breathalyzed and blew a .22, and he was arrested and charged with burglary. Nathaniel Coleman, 33. He committed a successful burglary where he got off with a bunch of jewelry, and then he headed to Marilyn's boutique to try and get rid of the stolen jewelry. But when he went in, he was showing the manager the jewelry, and she was looking through it and realized that a lot of the items looked incredibly similar to pieces that she knew she had in her jewelry collection. So this woman excused herself, went out the back and called her husband. Her husband then called the police, and she stayed calm and kept Coleman in the store until they got there and arrested him. And he was charged with dealing in stolen goods, defrauding a pawnbroker, and grand theft of items between $5,000 and $10,000. This is so stupid. Some people are so stupid, and I don't understand like how this person thought to do this. What made you think to do this? Okay. Christopher Fink, 40, stole 177 city manholes worth approximately $22,000. The theft of the covers occurred over about a week, and Fink sold the covers to metal dealers. He was eventually arrested and charged with grand theft, dealing in stolen property, and giving verification to a second-hand metal dealer. Like I said, what makes people think to do these things? I mean, I get it. If he got away with it, it would have been great, but like, did you really think they wouldn't notice that 177 manhole covers were missing? Like, people are just gonna fall into like fucking sewers and no one's gonna notice? Like, the fuck? This one. So one evening, a lady named Michelle Wright drove into her driveway at about 6 p.m. after work and realised that it was a lot bumpier and felt weird to what it usually felt like. So she gets out of the car and realises that her whole driveway is missing. So of course she reported the crime, and a witness across the street had seen two men digging up the driveway throughout the day, but didn't think anything was suspicious or off because he knew that there was other people working on the property. The witness described the people who stole the driveway as a heavy-set black male in his 30s and a short white male with a small build. I did find that the black man was Anthony Jones. I believe he was arrested. I don't know if they were both arrested. I assume they probably were. I mean, the victim, Michelle Wright, was told after they were found that she could come and pick up her driveway at any time. Joyce Kofi is a woman who was arrested 4 times in 26 hours for playing AC/DC's Hideaway to Hell too loud. On the Tuesday, the 21st of August 2012, police came over and asked her to keep the music down, but she was arrested an hour later for continuing to play the music loudly. She was quickly taken in and then released, and then 5 hours later, she was arrested again for playing AC/DC too loud. She was released again, and then around dawn on August the 30th, she was arrested for a 3rd time for playing the music too loud. Now this is where things take a twist. Once she was released from this arrest, she went home and her nephew came over to pick up a few of his things from her house. And this is when the nephew alleges that Joyce then threw a frying pan at him. There's no reason given for that, but then police were called and she was arrested for a 4th time. Probably went home and played AC/DC again. Suzanne Holbrook, 51, and Carl Owen Smith, 65, are eating Taco Bell one night. Carl has a Mexican pizza and Suzanne has a burrito supreme. I'm sorry, I have to read this off the page because we don't have Taco Bell here. As they were eating their food, they got into an argument about Smith's alcoholism. As the argument broke out and got more intense, Suzanne threw her burrito at the back of Carl's head, and in retaliation he stabbed her in the hand with a fork. So Suzanne stayed calm until police arrived, and when they did arrive they had to send her to get medical treatment because the fork was embedded so deeply into her hand. And I have questions about that. Was it like were they at home? Did they have like metal cutlery, or did he like really fucking shove one of those plastic forks in there? Because like if that happened, they could have like broken off, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have questions. How did that happen? What happened? Anyway, Carl was eventually found at a local bar, and when he was confronted he said, I didn't stab her, I just threw the fork at her. When police showed him pictures of the fork embedded in her hand, he just laughed. And then Carl was eventually charged with aggravated battery, and Suzanne was charged with second-degree domestic violence battery. Some people are fucking crazy, man. Like crazy. 6 a.m. on the 11th of November in 2017, and a homeowner and his 3 young sons are awoken by a man walking up and down the street, yelling and howling. Then 2 hours later, the homeowner's woken up again by the sound of someone walking around on his roof. He called the police and they came, and it was found that the person's name was Jacob Fudge, 31 years old. And he explained to the police that he was there to have a meeting with a drug enforcement agency officer. When police asked if he was under the influence of anything, he admitted to having injected some meth at about 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m. he was like, yo, got a meeting with the DEA agent in like 6 hours, better do some meth. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Also, what DEA agent is having a meeting on the roof of some random motherfucker's house? What the fuck? I left this one to last because it's my favourite. I think it's funny. Matthew Faulkner, 30 years old. It is early on October the 1st, 2011, and Faulkner is driving through the Taco Bell drive-thru for the 4th time after, I'm assuming, many hours of drinking beer. He went through the drive-thru, he ordered his taco, he received his taco, and he passed out. When he passed out, he had his car in park with his foot on the accelerator, and the engine ended up catching on fire. The police were called and they came, and an officer woke him up and asked him for some ID. At this point, Faulkner said no before reaching into his bag and presenting the officer with a taco. Another officer clarified that they were asking for ID, not a taco. Faulkner chuckled and began to eat the taco. He was breathalyzed and had a blood alcohol content of 0.225, and he was charged with a DUI. Fucking obviously. He was so drunk he fell asleep, and then his engine caught on fire. And then he chuckled about trying to give an officer a taco. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.